Warning: the Chaotic Culture Podcast is a program for mature audiences. The language and content presented in this podcast is of a mature nature that some audiences may not find suitable. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Embrace the culture, blaze the doja, grab your loved ones and bring them closer. Extra, extra, read the poster, the KKP is taking over. Sleeping on me, better smell the Folgers. I've been razor sharp since the Motorola. Off for O, like the cover Oprah. Popping bottles, feet all in the sofa. It's a celebration, though the times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge. But it's a celebration, times is hard. It's raining blessings, give it up to God. Chaotic culture, the greatest pod. With Ked the Pro, the one in charge.
We're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. 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 Oh, we're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture. We're living in a chaotic culture.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year and welcome to another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, the pod where chaos rules and black culture is elevated and embraced. This podcast will deep dive into modern black culture and how millennials and Gen Z can navigate the crazy parts from finances, music, black business highlights, home ownership, HBCUs, sports, black nerddom, anime, wrestling. If it encompasses black culture, we're going to cover it. Live from the 7-5, I am the host and the creator of the Chaotic Culture Podcast, your boy Ked the Pro, a.k.a. the Calculated Millennial, the Cutlass Diamond, a.k.a. don't be pushing on my buttons in my cutlass unless you cutting, a.k.a. Chaotic Ked, Ked the Poet, Ked the Closer, Ked the Hoochie Hashira, and your favorite toxic adjacent king. The 843 is me, but VA is where I stay. Always chaotic, never toxic. Back again, once again, for your favorite black culture highlights and black culture shenanigans. With me are three members of the Usual Suspects, of course, starting with the first lady of the pod, Miss Nasa. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Y'all already know what is good. It's your girl Nasa, aka Tony Noir, the female Picasso. Welcome to the station, honey, and good vibes only. I hope that everybody has had a good start to y'all's year, because we definitely told 2023 to come in and sit the hell down. But I hope everybody is having a wonderful new year so far. So how's everybody been? It's T.
We've been good so far.
I'm alive.
Alive, okay? Look.
Okay. That's a good way to start. Alive.
Alive. Look, blessings. Blessings on blessings.
Indeed. Next, of course, we have the second lady of the pod, the old school aficionado, Sappy. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, ma'am.
What's good, people? It's your girl, Sappy. No AKAs or hey. And we got a good episode for y'all today, so we're going to get into it.
Word. And then finally with us, first mate of the pod, Law. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
Happy New Year. What's good, folks? Glad y'all joining us this week. If y'all can, sit back, relax, and let's get to it.
Absolutely. So, it's a new year, ladies and gentlemen, which means new topics, new things coming up for the pod. You already know what time it is, but first and foremost, we always got to start with our mental health check. So in reverse order, Law, how has your mental health been so far for this new year?
My first day of the year has been great. I spent today in church. I really have no real complaints as of yet. I hope to keep it that way.
Word. I like the sound of that, man. He's like, you don't want no surprises for 2023, at least no bad surprises. Speaking of, we already got one that we got to talk about. But anyway, Sappy, how's your mental health been so far?
So far, so good, but we only one day in, so anything can happen, but hopefully it stays on the positive side. And I'm excited to see what 2023 has to offer me and has to offer all of my good friends and family. So hopefully we all get this money and we'll have a good year.
I hear that. I hear that. And Miss Nasa, how is your mental health been, ma'am?
My mental health has been steady. Today was a good day. I started off the day with some exercise, trying to get the, blood flowing, blood working, stuff like that. But today was good, and I'm praying and hoping that, that it remains that way for the rest of the year. So
I like the sound of that. And then for me, the start of the new year has been kind of eh. Um, I guess the start was cool when when the clock hit 12 and it was Happy New Year. I was drunk off wine. I was having a little bit of fun, but really wasn't a lot of fun because I wasn't with a lot of my people, and everybody I wanted to hang with was either sick or out of town. So it was just like, dang, yo. And then I was a little too lit to go to church or go to watch night service. So I was like, man, I just got to get up in the morning to get my behind the church this morning. So that's where I went. Went to church this morning, got a clear head and a clear mind, and spent some time with God today, praying, getting some things done in the house, cleaning. So mental health is okay still. It's just it just kind of felt like for the start of the day as things went along. But I mean, it's nothing that is gonna bother me. At least I don't think it's gonna bother me. So hopefully tomorrow will come with renewed energy, and hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. As far as our fifth co-host, I'm not sure where Johnny is at. His phone went straight to voicemail, so I hope everything is okay with him. And hopefully he'll respond and join us soon. If he doesn't, we'll just have to catch him next episode. And we'll go from there. Anyway, now that our mental health has been covered, first, before we really get started, and I just thought about this, NASA actually just dropped a project with Zay Blaze. NASA, please talk to us a little bit about that, ma'am.
y'all already know. Okay, let me tell you something. We just dropped a new project called Players Club. It is out on all streaming platforms, all music streaming platforms. So definitely go check that out. Get into your pimp phases. Get into your cool phases. But yeah, Players Club is out. So go check that out.
Hey,
I hope everybody enjoyed it. And I want to know what your favorite song is. So please let me know.
I'm gonna let you know next episode because, like, for some reason, I had it and then I lost track of time, and I haven't been listening to music other than Christmas music for like the last 3 days. And then today it popped in my head like, yo, I literally just put it on Instagram that you had a project, and I've been meaning to listen to it. And tell me why I go on Spotify and your name got that check mark next to it. So yeah, this shit
Wait,
came
hold
up.
on. Hold on. I got a check mark.
Yeah, it says verified artist under NASA, ma'am. You may want to look into that because yeah, I remember when you dropped your first few projects, it was kind of hard to find you. Now you type in NASA with an accent on the A, it pops right on up.
Okay, period. See, I'm claiming that 2023 is my year. I was actually listening to all of my songs the other day, like, and I got some really heavy hitters. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and cap. Like, I think I got some really good songs, and one of them is gonna go viral. So one of them, and I'm claiming that in 2023. So
As you should.
You show is verified on Spotify. Look at you.
Hey.
Little blue little check by you.
Verification.
Okay, verified, check stamped, a blue dot. Okay.
period.
But I tell you, my favorite track on that EP is High. That is my favorite.
Dude, I'm glad that you like that one because that is actually interesting enough. My younger brother did that beat for High.
Come on, family.
Hey, he been coming through with the beats.
They just know.
He just knows. Okay, so I'm glad that High is your favorite because that has actually been a favorite for everybody. So
hey, well, definitely shout out to your brother and shout out to you. You really are putting in work, and shout out to Zay Blaze too. We got to get him on this pod. I don't know when, but we'll find a way to get him on here. And
Oh,
so
for
we
sure.
can probably interview both of y'all and talk about the EP a little bit and what other projects y'all got coming up or what other projects he got coming up.
But
Anyway,
let's not. But hold on, because we also got some more coming. So stay tuned on that.
hey, we
We
love
got
to
some more
hear it.
coming. Yeah.
Love to
I
hear it.
always said that y'all two together, y'all make fire. So I don't know if this is something that's gonna be long term, but I say keep it up. Keep it up.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Absolutely. All right.
What the Steelers gonna do versus the Ravens, man?
Shit, they better win. I know that's a damn sure. Look, last time we were we had Mitch Trubisky starting and we lost by 2 points. This time, Kenny Pickett is starting. So I'm hoping if we can win, we are still alive for the playoffs when we really shouldn't be. And shout out to Mike Tomlin because he gets a lot of flack, but truthfully be told, this Steelers team is not that talented. They really should not be winning anything at all, for real. And somehow we've managed to get to 7-8. So I'm not complaining one bit. Shout out to that Nuke. That good brother is really doing good work in coaching up that team. And it really speaks to how good of a coach he is. And hopefully we can slide in the playoffs, man.
Heard.
Speaking of football, yeah, I watched some bowl games yesterday, and yeah, definitely shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. Got won a nail biter, literally, against Ohio State, and Texas Christian University or TCU surprised the fuck out of everybody and beat Michigan. That was a wild ass game too when it got to that second half.
You know, I actually kind of saw that coming. I'm not gonna say that I counted Michigan out, but I felt like, you know, TCU was definitely the quote unquote underdog, and they came in and they showed out. They were the hungrier team.
Indeed. And then it's like Michigan finally woke up in the second half, but by that time, every time that Michigan had an answer or two, TCU had another one. And it just seemed like that entire second half, they didn't play defense at all. It was like, okay, we just going to go touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. They were trading scores at that point. It's like, okay, is anybody going to like clamp down for real? But end of the day, man, shout out to TCU. So we're going to get TCU versus Georgia in the national championship game, which I believe is not tomorrow, but next Monday, the 9th. And that should be an interesting game. So shout out to that. And I think that's really all as far as like football, because yeah, the playoffs are starting to shape up, but we'll talk about that next episode when the playoffs are like really in set and we can discuss what our predictions are for the upcoming Super Bowl.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have no comment on any of those topics because, you know, when you put it in the air, you get disappointed. So I'm gonna just be a viewer the next couple of weeks.
I get you, bro. I get you. I'm just gonna say if the Steelers make the playoffs, I'm gonna talk my shit because we weren't supposed to make it. We were not supposed to be here for like 3 years in a row, and somehow, some way, we keep making the playoffs. So whether we win a playoff game or not, that's not important. The important thing for me is get in, but it's neither here nor there. Anyway, real quick, just wanted to talk about one thing that was on my mind as of recently, and we didn't talk about this because obviously this happened a few weeks ago, but we have finally had come to the end of the Daystar Peterson trial or the Tory Lanez trial. And no, it is not the Megan Thee Stallion trial. It is the state of California versus Daystar Peterson, just so that everybody is aware. We came to that end and he was found guilty on all 3 counts. And a lot of people were still trying to take Tory's side. A lot of people were still making comments, still saying that there was no evidence on the gun and shit like that. I just want to hear your thoughts about, of course, the verdict, and then, of course, the released audio, because it wasn't leaked. The trial is over. Obviously, they can release evidence after the trial is leaked, but that, I believe that phone call has actually been out for some time, but they released a longer clip of it and people can actually hear what was said. And a lot of people shut up when they heard that clip. So any comments? I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are about the end of the trial.
I gotta comment.
Oh, go ahead.
I got a lot.
Let's go, Sappy. Let's go.
I just feel like since the beginning, the facts didn't make sense as to why he was instigating so much. If he knew all of these, what is the word for it? Evidence was building up against him. Like if you knew that there was a phone call, if you knew that old girl had said that you were the one who shot Megan, if you already knew that all of this evidence was available, why are you on all these third-party sites or all these blogs saying I ain't do it, she lying on me, blah 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 blah? If you knew that this evidence was going to come out anyway. Now I know you always got to say innocent until proven guilty, but you can't be dumb. But you can't, because it wasn't Megan who even said anything to make it in the public light. You know what I'm saying? He was the one who was going on all these blogs and saying, "Oh, she lying on me. I ain't never shot her." Blah 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 blah. But like, she never said anything from the jump. It was you who brought it out to the light. So if you knew all of this information was already available as evidence against you, why would you make something or bring something out into the public knowing that it would be, it will blow up in your face like that? Like, he couldn't have been that smart. I don't know if maybe he was trying to get like his music out or, start a little scandal so that he can get more popular in the limelight. But the math isn't mathing, because now he just looks like a fool. And all those people who keep on backing him up, talk about, oh, it's the system. They always want to put a black man in jail. No, he put his dumb ass in jail. Like, sir.
Correct. Absolutely. Sir. Correct.
I was just
going to say, of this mountain of evidence. Correct. You look like a fool.
It's just crazy because, like, as they were explaining it, like, first off, Kelsey, I'm not gonna say is smart, but she's smart. You feel me?
She dumb as hell. Come on now.
but,
I'm sorry.
But she took that deal to where they can't use something against her, or she had immunity or something. So she essentially could have told everything that happened, and how it played out. It really sounded like a lover's quarrel,
But she did, though. In the little clip, they exposed both of themselves.
Exactly. So like that's what I said. She's smart, but she's stupid. But to hear like how she went about it, like, she shot Megan. I don't care what nobody say, because when they did the neighbor analysis, he said, I saw the shots come from the small girl, and you know what I'm saying? The way they described it is, you know who the big girl is, and you know who the small girl is.
Tory a little small too, so
but Tory is small.
They said that in the witness interview too, said that the driver was the big guy, and the small guy ran around to the small girl's side, and that's where the pop 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 came from, and then the subsequent pop pop pop, like, either, you know what I'm saying? So either Kelsey shot her and covered it up for Megan, or Tory shot him because he was tired of both of them, and he was just trying to get both of them to stop fighting. Either way,
she got she good, because then he offered her like $1 million to be quiet,
something like that.
So either way, she got money.
She got look, she got paid, and she got the nigga locked up.
Outside of that part of the trial, it was so crazy because, as y'all said, it seemed like she was playing a game during the trial, and like she didn't want to say anything, and she kept trying to plead the fifth. And honestly, you gotta give, I don't want to say give credit to, but you really got to look at Tory's lawyers and just figure out what the hell were y'all doing, because had they not said or done one thing during that witness testimony, they probably would have never played the entire interview where she admitted to saying, how Tory actually did shoot her and how he saw her.
Somebody say he got his lawyers off a Wish.
And like, for real, like, he somebody also said that he got his lawyers off a TaskRabbit just because of how poor the actual argument was. And it's crazy because the prosecution had at least 47 pieces of evidence against him, and they had all of 4 or 5. And I got to talk about the gun situation, because a lot of people that were on the blogs and on social media and whatnot were saying they didn't find any evidence on the gun. And I was like, no, they said that the DNA evidence was inconclusive, which means they couldn't determine whether his DNA was on there or not. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was not on there. Inconclusive does not mean his DNA was not on the gun. And I hope that people realize that, because that means that there were multiple handprints on that gun, but there was gun residue on him. So it's like he touched the gun at some point. Either way, I just find this absolutely funny because, as he said, the witness testimony, this was the star defense witness testimony, and they pretty much, I don't know what they were thinking, but that witness testimony said, nah, he pretty much was shooting everywhere. After, where the situation where he saw the flashing light between the two girls, he's saying that he saw him with the gun going pop, pop, pop. This is like he's shooting everywhere. I'm like, okay, yeah. And then the phone call released, and granted, he didn't say that he shot her, but everybody knows that these phone calls are bugged. Everybody knows that police investigators are listening to this. So yeah, of course he's going to mince his words and he's not going to admit that he did it. But just from putting your context clues together, that man said that he was so drunk and that he had never done anything like that before. And if y'all remember what Tory had said in the past about that he, during that phone call, he was telling her that he apologized for sleeping with the both of them. That's not what that conversation implied when you listen to that phone call. That phone call implied that he did some shit. And what did he do? He did some shit in that moment. So what was it? And clearly, y'all, like, it's either way, he's been convicted. I don't know when the sentencing is, but Daystar Peterson is clearly going to probably get sent back to Canada and probably will have to do some time.
And who would have thought that Tory Lanez would have bagged both of them? I'm just saying.
Honestly, let this be a lesson. Where you listen. Let this be a lesson. When a woman, or just in this case, a Black woman says her truth, believe it the first time.
Yes.
Let this be a lesson. So we don't have to sit here and do whole.
Had to defend herself.
Had to defend herself, and then in the end of it, just for her to be found out she was being honest. Okay, so yeah, let this be a lesson. Believe a Black woman the first time when she tells her drama.
And the crazy thing is that she was willing to protect him until, as Sappy said, he started going on these bloggers' websites and started going on social media, started calling into these shows, and started pushing an agenda. Pushing an
agenda. And let's be also very clear. Like all the other notions, there was just so many notions oh, she was sleeping with somebody else and all this. Despite who she was sleeping with, despite who she was messing with, she should have never been shot at. That is not an indication to shoot anybody.
It just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, okay, so she slept with Tory, and so did Kelsey. What does that have to do with him shooting her?
Right.
What does that have anything to do? And I see what the lawyers were trying to do. They were trying to paint this picture that if she lied about this, she would also lie about the actual shooting. And it's like, it's like there's no correlation in between those two situations. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with everybody on this. It's just like, man, you believe Black women the first time they tell you something. Now if we find out later on that they lied, it's like, okay, we'll find whatever. But in this case, the only person that lied was Tory. And Kelsey, technically, because
did he take the witness stand? Or
no, he did not.
He did not take the stand.
He didn't take the witness stand, which is like, bro, if you are innocent,
then
why didn't you get up on the witness stand and say something?
Yeah, because he would have really incriminated himself had he did it.
Exactly. So
yeah.
Well, it is what it is. The trial is over. Everybody heard the released phone call now, and a lot of people are starting to change their mind. And it's just like, there's still some people who will defend Daystar.
Can we talk about his parents?
Oh gosh,
guys,
It's the purple lipstick for me.
Can we discuss that real quick?
Yeah. Y'all go ahead and
First
make your
of all,
comments.
his parents made a whole entire fool of themselves, but that's all.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Like they definitely made a fool out of themselves. And then for them to blame Rock Nation, what the hell does Jay-Z and Beyonce got to do with this? They
Bro,
got
I was
nothing
getting
to
ready to
this.
say that. Now the running gag now is that if something goes wrong, blame Rock Nation.
Blame Jay-Z, blame Rock Nation.
Blame
you lost your job, blame Rock Nation.
Mm-hmm.
You losing money, blame Rock Nation. Your bills ain't covered, blame Rock Nation. Like it is ridiculous, man, how people have took that gag and run with it. But I guess people felt that because I don't know, dude. Because I guess Rock Nation is counseling Megan. So I guess they feel as though they had something to do with it. I'm like, Rock Nation ain't do shit with this trial. But
they had nothing to do with this trial. But
all I can do is shake my head, man. Them parents are crazy. And Sabby said this before the pod actually started, but it's just crazy how his dad's name is Sunstar. And it's like when the first time I had heard that, I was like, that makes sense now. But it's
old
wild.
Canadian bull.
Good old Canadian boy.
Yeah. So, anyway, Sabby actually makes a good point. We got to talk about two other topics that just popped up here. So one, boy, Lakeith Stanfield.
What happened? What happened?
He proposed to his girl. He proposed to his girl, but apparently he had a secret family.
Bitch.
I don't think they were secret. I think he was just pulling a Drake. As a celebrity, personally, I don't know how he is with her, so I can't be like, oh, he ain't taking care of his baby. Like, I don't know. Based off of what the girl is saying, she's saying he's a deadbeat dad. He's not taking care of the child, blah, 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 blah. However, she also said that he's not claiming her child. And I don't know how, like, she wanted, like, by her posting on social media, I don't know how she wanted everyone else to react against him, because he also has another child with another celebrity, and neither one of them have posted their daughter. So I just feel like, does she expect him to post the child all over social media? Like, what does she expect him to do to claim that child so that the world can know? I mean, I feel like he was pulling a Drake. Not everybody need to know who your baby, or what your baby look like. However, if he's a deadbeat dad, then he need to step up, because that's just a no-no. Now, granted, I think that was kind of effed up what she did. As soon as old girl posted the engagement photo, she was like, I want to interrupt your happiness and show the world that you're a deadbeat dad. Like, dang, give him at least 48 hours of happiness. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying.
Dang. But I mean, if you got to call him out, because at the end of the day, you got to take care of what you brought into this world. However, I think it was a little tasteless. Give him like 48 hours of happiness, you know what I'm saying, before you drop a TMZ story out there, you know what I'm saying?
TMZ story is crazy, but it is factual. That being said, there were a lot of questions going on as to whether the fiance knew about this situation. And from what I've been told, apparently she does. So it's like, it wasn't a secret to her. It was just a secret for the rest of the world, because, and as you said, this is kind of like a Drake situation. Not everybody need to know his business. Not everybody need to know Lakeith's business about his kids and whatnot, unless he's a deadbeat father. And if that is true, then by all means, brother, you got to step up.
Honestly, the whole like exposing him as a deadbeat father, that's kind of like a personal situation that could be handled, and that could be handled outside of social media.
You know what I'm saying?
In the courtroom. Like, okay, so if he has a child, that doesn't really need to be exposed to us, because that has nothing to do with us. If he's a deadbeat, that has nothing to do with us. That's something that he himself has to handle with his family.
It's like revenge porn, but not as severe.
Exactly. Like we as social media has such a bad tendency of trying to expose every single part of a person's life. Like, let's keep some things personal.
Cloud doing too much for Cloud. We got an episode on that, but anyway, yeah, it's a crazy situation regarding that, but I do hope that he is taking care of his kids, and if he's not, I do hope that he will. Outside of that, yeah, exposing him it's definitely a little tasteless, especially if the circle already knew. It's not like you're revealing a big secret to at least the ones closest to him. You're just letting the world see, and as we said before, the whole world don't need to know your business. So even if you're not a celebrity, the whole world don't need to know your business.
For sure.
So please stop going on social media and posting all of your business for the whole world to see. All right, so Johnny just texted me back. He said that he's straight, but I guess I'll figure out what's going on with him in a bit. Anyway, and lastly, in the I don't want to call it the gossip world, but in Black culture, the take. Oh, this nigga was asleep.
What did I say? It be like that sometimes. It really be like that sometimes.
Yeah, you're right.
Went to sleep at 3. I didn't wake up until right before we started recording.
We be prepared, y'all. Don't make it seem like we not. We just be tired.
The new year is new yearing already.
Okay.
Already. So yeah, let's talk about this TikTok challenge gone wrong.
Let me tell you something. I know Angela Bassett and
she tore
and her husband tore that ass.
Y'all not gonna lie though.
Up.
I did do the challenge on my mom.
You did?
You talking about the one where they be talking about people
my
dying?
best friend sent me a clip of a girl doing it to her Nigerian mother, and the caption was African mothers are very dramatic. I was like, yes, you're right. You know what? I'm gonna do it too. I did it. The shit was hilarious. Follow up, then I see it's an actual challenge on TikTok. And then 2 days later, this video comes up and I'm like, okay, I think you took it just a little bit too far. Not a little bit, a whole lot. Yeah, like you just, we done with the challenge. X and A on the challenge.
Did you guys see the video of Angela Bassett's son's apology?
And that's what I wanted to bring up.
That was the one we're talking about.
He decided to do that video.
Very
and
tasteless.
Yeah, of course his joke was Michael B. Jordan had passed away and he tried to do that to his mom, and it's just like, bro, why would you do that knowing that how long she's worked with both Michael B. Jordan and Chadwick, and after dealing with the situation with Chadwick Boseman, now you drop this on her.
For those who don't know what the challenge was. So the challenge is you tell your parent like one of their favorite celebrities has passed away. You give like a random detail, their age, and you just say so-and-so has passed away, and you record their reaction. Now, Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance's son thought it would be very smart of him to say to his mother that Michael B. Jordan passed away, one of her coworkers, like somebody she actually knows. You're supposed to do this challenge with random folks who don't know who these celebrities' last name is. You know what I'm saying? Like random people. You're not supposed to do it their friend. Like, come on, that don't even make sense.
Yeah, I if I was her son, I would have chose like a random celebrity that was
not even. No, I just feel like that's her peer group. Like, you can't even do that. Like, it's not for celebrities to do because it's a 6 degrees of separation type thing. She probably actually knows. If he had done the randomest white celebrity, she probably still would have known them.
But based on her reaction, it was
like she looked hurt.
She looked hurt.
When he said the name, I was like, son, no, that's not funny.
Yeah, and apparently he said that she was sad for the rest of the day. So I know he regrets
she
it.
Was.
It's like, damn, bro, you can't just drop that kind of trauma onto your mama like that, man.
I know Uncle Courtney got that belt and was fuck. Because homeboy did a reaction video. I'm talking about tears coming down his face. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do a challenge like that.
Well, hopefully he won his. Hopefully he learned his lesson. I'm hoping so. And please don't ever do that to your folks, man. Like it's a terrible challenge to start with, but especially if you know that your celebrity parent has been through something, and to go ahead and do a joke like that I'm going to blame this on youth. It's like, okay, he's still kind of young. He didn't know for real, but yeah, don't do that. Please don't. I honestly I don't think I could ever see myself doing that joke to my mom anyway. I can't just pick a random celebrity and tell them that they passed away and whatnot. I don't have it in me to do that kind of joke or that kind of TikTok challenge. I might do something else that might be actually funny, but that no, family already don't play with passing away as it is.
Yeah, I did it. I told my mom Michelle Obama that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh.
That's not funny. Oh my gosh.
No, man, if I told my mama that, boy,
hell would have broke loose.
Exactly. Exactly. Speaking of passing, we do have to mention two people who passed away. One a few days ago, and one who passed away today. So number one, of course, we gotta say rest in peace to Barbara Walters.
Mother.
Yes, a pioneer in journalism and one of the best interviewers out there ever. She passed away at 93 years old, so she lived a really good life. It's sad to see when the legends go, and it's always sad to see when the pioneers go. And just from the amount of interviews that she's done and keeping it as non-biased as possible and always asking the tougher questions, you see that a lot of journalism now is based around just what she brought to the table. So we definitely have to say rest in peace to Barbara Walters. Any quick comments on that?
I just wanted to say, I think she was such a great pioneer for females in the industry, because she was literally the first to have her own talk show, as well as a leader in doing interviews. Everybody knows their favorite Barbara Walters interview, whether she's shading somebody or, she's doing amazing journalism. So I just want to say, we thank her for all of her talents and all she has brought to the journalism community. And, her pioneering the way for all women, especially one of the major ones that we all look up to now, Oprah. That's my girl. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So she definitely broke that glass ceiling, and she made it, available for other women behind her to actually do great journalism as well.
This is facts. And
all I gotta say is, rest in peace to Barbara. It like you said, it's just kind of just one of those things. Just it kind of hits a lot different when it's one of those pioneers. People that we've actually seen and grown with throughout the years. So definitely rest in peace, and a whole bunch of love to their family.
Absolutely. With that, we have to talk about another passing that just happened today and surprised the hell out of me. And it's still kind of crazy to talk about this because it's like, we literally just talked about the versus battle two seasons ago. We talked about this. So for those who have not heard yet, well, you should have heard by now, because by the time this episode drops, it'll be Wednesday. But in case you hadn't, Gangsta Boo has passed away. And for those who don't know Gangsta Boo, she was the only female member of 3 6 Mafia. And yeah, it's crazy because I think she also just did a Drink Champs episode not too long ago too. Good Lord, man. It's really hard when you see people that you listen to as you were growing up pass away, and the fact that she was only 43. This goes back to my saying that rappers deserve to live long lives, man. And it's a damn shame when we don't see that happen. And to be so damn young, 43 is young.
Yeah. Put them drugs down, y'all. Stop being Kodak Black. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to go super gremlin all the time,
No,
I mean, I get it. It's a point of coping, but You feel me? You gotta, you know what I'm saying, put the vices down and actually seek some therapy, yo. That's why we get up here and do a mental health check to any rapper that listen to this podcast, yo. I real life want to see y'all make it to, you know, old age. I want to see y'all great and happy. You feel me? Just, you
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? Get away from these drugs, man, because
For
the
sure.
drug industry is not for y'all. You feel me? Yeah, y'all might make y'all money from it, quote unquote, you know, but seriously, like they putting stuff in these drugs, man, and it's taking y'all out quicker than what it is keeping y'all in. Big
Nah,
Scar
that's
just passed like that too.
yeah. That's one I definitely forgot about Big Scar, but he damn sure just passed not too long ago too.
Oh my, that
Yeah,
is
I
it's
true.
mean,
Big
to be
Scar.
clear though, they haven't given the official cause of death, so we don't want to blame it on drugs. However,
This
they
is
haven't
true.
officially said what was the cause of death, so we're still waiting to hear on that
You're right. You're
before
right. I
we blame it on.
apologize.
So I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, you don't know.
right. When we get of course, the official cause of death, we'll say that. But I know people have been saying it's from an alleged overdose, but we don't want to, make any assumptions until we get the actual coroner's report. So yeah, we'll hear about the cause of death, I'm sure, in these coming days or weeks. But yeah, either way, it's just crazy because, as you said, Big Scar was a situation where that was drugs, but either these rappers are going out either through drugs or they getting killed. It's really, really difficult to be in this hip hop culture and expect your favorite artist to make it to that old age. And granted, I'm thankful that there's still a lot of rappers who have made it to that pinnacle, but it's still like, come on, man, we want to see everybody get old and whatnot. And we know that's not possible because, when it's your time, it's your time. But if it's something that could be avoided, then we just hope that these rappers nowadays can get to a comfortable age, man. That's all I'm wanting. I want them to be able to gray and enjoy the fruits of their labor and enjoy their kids and their kids and get a chance to live a long life. It's one thing when something unfortunate happens and something out of your control, but when something that is in your control happens, then it's really not much to say other than I really hope that we can learn from this and grow from this and not fall into these pitfalls and traps that are set around us within hip hop culture. But it's really hard for me because I'm a 3 6 Mafia fan and now half of 3 6 Mafia has passed away. So it's really, really difficult to kind of comprehend that there's literally only 3 members left: Crunchy Black, DJ Paul, and Juicy J. Everyone else has passed on. Lord Infamous, Coops the Nigga, and now Gangsta Boo. So yeah, definitely rest in peace to Gangsta Boo. I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to that Drink Champs episode again. And I know like what she's done for the industry itself. She was going like crazy on their albums as a teenager. So, what a lot of people don't realize is how big of a pioneer she was, because I know a lot of people don't talk about Gangsta Boo, but if you listen to a lot of her raps and a lot of her cadences, a lot of the raps that she was saying back in the 90s and the early 2000s is based on her lyrics. Like a lot of the stuff that's coming out now is based on some of the stuff that she was saying, and a lot of the cadences from the rap women now are based off Gangsta Boo. I know we put Lil Kim in that hierarchy as well, and as well as other artists, but Gangsta Boo really had a flow that was very impeccable. So a big much love to the 3 6 Mafia family, and I hope that uh Crunchy, DJ Paul, and Juicy could come together again, because having another member of your family pass on it's got to be heartbreaking. So now we just got to get to the good part. So we've talked about the Tory Lanez trial. We talked about the passing of Barbara Walters. We talked about the passing of Gangsta. We talked about the Lakeith Stanfield situation, and we talked about this TikTok challenge gone wrong. So with that, let's get into some positive stuff, man. Let's talk and let's find out what we got planned for the new year. Starting off, what are some of your New Year plans? If anybody wants to start,
Go. I pretty much just plan to get out of debt. You feel me? Or what I've accumulated up to this point, mainly just credit cards and stuff. Get closer to paying my car off. You know what I'm saying? By 24 or next year, I'm trying to be in a house. I'm tired of this apartment living situation. So
you ain't lying.
you know what I'm saying? I got a couple goals that I got lined up. We just gonna try to knock them out as soon as possible.
We're
I think I'll go next.
Okay.
For this new year, I am definitely going into the 2023 being intentional. I feel like this year is the year of intention. And I just want to be intentional in literally every aspect of my life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, romantically, like just being intentional and direct on the things that I want. I'm definitely going to continue to push and promote Players Club. I'm going to, definitely get started as far as, you know, planting seeds as far as my a newer sophomore album. I want my own business. So, all those things I want to be intentional. I want to be intentional when it comes down to just having talks with God and just being, seeking him first before I make any other decisions. So that's how my year is going to go. And some people may be a little upset about it. Might be a little upset with me setting boundaries. But that's okay.
Protect your peace.
I'm going to be protecting my peace. And that is that. So.
Word. I love to hear it. Sappy, what New Year's plans or goals do you have for this year?
Definitely to go back to school, get the degree. That is that's the major plan. And then make money. Come on now, there's too much money out here to make lots of money.
Yep. Yeah, that's always the plan. That's always the goal. And as you said, there's enough money out here for everybody. So just to get in a little bit of my plans, obviously, I want this podcast to continue to grow and be innovative in any way that we possibly can. Get more co-hosts. Yeah, get some more guests on here. Get some more challenging things for us to do. Get some videos out there for everybody. Maybe even start posting these videos on YouTube, and hopefully maybe even try to get a website together. That's on the list of goals that I have in mind for this pod. And also to grow on the other podcasts. So for those who again do not know, I'm a part of 2 podcasts as well, Show Go High and Inside the Mind of a Blur. So I'm hoping to continue to grow in those podcasts as well and bring some new and innovative and creative ideas to those pods as well. Also, I'm hoping that by 2024 I can be like Law and get a house, because this apartment living is getting a little too on the expensive side. To be paying damn near mortgage rates on a damn apartment is absolutely insane.
You feel me? And it's just like you don't get the privacy you want. Yeah, 24, I will be in a house, claiming it now.
Yeah, and whether that house is here or somewhere else, I'm like, man, I'm gonna start looking. 2023, I've also have some ideas, as well as maybe if I don't move from this area in 2023, then I am going to be thinking about staying in this area, but I do and want to see where there are other opportunities are, and whether that's in DC or whether that's in Charlotte or Atlanta or somewhere. I definitely want to see where the money is and go where the money is and do my best to continue to make money, not only for myself, but also for this pod. You know, speaking of which, please be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon. That is patreon.com/chaotic coach pod at any of the 4 levels, starting at $3. It does not matter which one you decide to donate at, but we appreciate your patronage.
Period.
Yeah, I had to throw that in there real quick. Yeah, we those are just some of the goals that I have in mind for 2023. Are there any predictions for 2023?
That I'm making money.
Okay, I'm finna be in my bag.
In my
2023.
bag.
Okay,
I'm in my bag.
some people gonna be mad at me, bro. I'm about to be in my bag 2023.
That's a prediction. I'm gonna have this money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? I'm right there with y'all for 2023. I'm hoping for, you know, to get into this money and to grow in my role or even get promoted or you find a job. Hello.
Okay.
You know, whatever happens, I'm hoping that there is an increase. I'm gonna do the prayer of Jabez. Enlarge my territory.
Enlarge my territory. I will have my multiple sources of income.
Yes.
Period.
Enlarge my territory.
You know the vibes. You know the vibes.
Listen, enlarge
One of my favorite songs.
territory. My goodness.
Yes, we're all praying for increase here. Any more 2023 predictions? Do you predict, you know, music, film wise, show wise?
I have not a prediction, but a hope.
Okay, what's your
I
hope?
hope that music goes back to talent. Basic talent.
Music, movies.
I'm tired of these people
books,
who are just
everything.
out here shaking their ass on TikTok and getting record deals. Like, come on, bro. Bring back the talent. Bring back A&R.
Bring back A&R. Bring back longevity when it came back to music.
There we go. That's it right there.
We don't have
an artist to at least have 5 albums. Come on now.
For sure.
Good albums. Let me rephrase that.
You ain't lying.
5 good albums.
Good albums.
Good albums. Yeah, because it seems like most artists nowadays it's like you get one good hit and then
barely.
Yeah, barely a good hit, if even that. I'm with you on that one. I'm definitely hoping that people will bring back A&Rs and people will bring back like actual music development and artist development. Like, please don't just put all these artists out on stage not knowing what, you know, with them knowing not what the fuck to do. Excuse my language, but yeah, please just have them have a sense of stage presence and performance level where they can keep a crowd hype and active and engaged. And also, please just make good music, because you know there was a lot of good R&B out there. Some that I knew and some that I missed. As far as rap, there was a lot of good rap too. But as far as like from newer artists, there wasn't a lot out there that was good. For it like a lot of the rap that came out this past year were from people that we know, and some of it was mid. Drake.
I like Drake's album. I'm
not talking about Her Loss. Her Loss was cool.
No,
I'm talking about Honestly Never Mind.
What is it?
Honestly Never Mind.
Yeah, I liked it. It was different. I honestly think as an artist, if you're able to evolve, then if you're expecting the same thing from your artist who's been in the game for how long, then y'all just crazy. I think that he took something that, you know, folks was asking for a little bit. They liked some of his dance and pop music, and he made an album out of it. I respect it. I
respect the vision. I don't respect the execution, because for me, I don't expect artists to do the same thing over and over again throughout their career. I definitely want you to switch up. And him, you know, doing house music, that was perfectly fine. It's just that it wasn't good house music. It wasn't a good album.
I don't think he was trying to do how old school house was, though. You have to look at it as he heard a genre and he tried to make a modern version of it.
Well, clearly for me, it didn't work. Look, because as I've said before, like if you want to see an example of how it worked, Beyonce, and
her
I'm
album
not
was
the biggest
fire.
Beyonce
But he
fan,
wrote on that album, so technically you saying Drake house music is good too?
When he's working with others, he'll be fine. But when it's just him and his own production, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But in either case, there was a lot of
Can we bring
decent music out there. What up?
Can we bring R&B back?
I think it's back already.
Is it really back?
I think SZA's album was very good. I think Ari Lennox's album is very. You got to realize, every time a genre comes out, it's not going to be what it was before. Every year, somebody's going to evolve, or they're going to listen to something we used to listen to in the past, and they're going to build on top of it. So if you're expecting for 90s R&B to come back, that's just not going to happen. Because we're no longer in the 90s. If you're expecting
I'm not expecting 90s. I'm not expecting 90s, but definitely for sure. I think that just with
R&B, so you
tell me alone,
nobody's album that came out that was R&B was good.
No, I'm not saying that. Like, we had some really good R&B albums. I just want it to be a little bit more long lasting than it has been.
I mean, we gotta start somewhere.
Yeah,
we gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I have a comment. I want the good R&B that's out there. I want it to be more prominent on these R&B and hip hop stations. Like,
right,
we know
that's just
that
payola. You pay from record labels to be on the radio, so that's just you better get Sirius XM.
well, this is facts. I'm just a little disappointed because, like, if you listen to any of the local hip hop stations, it's literally they don't play any male R&B anymore. It's pretty much because pretty much all the rappers that they play singing their music now anyway. But it's just very, very seldom that you will hear an actual male R&B artist outside of Giveon on the public radio. Now, of course, you can hit up the Sirius XM. You can go to Spotify and you can find all these amazing R&B artists that are out there, male and female. It's just radio literally has this.
I just don't think they're
billboard
mainstream.
Paywalled.
Make America rap again.
That's probably why. Because I mean, I could list off 10 male R&B artists that I think are amazing, but I don't think they're mainstream artists yet. So of course they're not going to get put on the radio because not many people are listening to them. I don't know, maybe not, but
I don't know if it's so much as it's listening to them. It's just that because if you find a good male R&B artist, I'll listen to him all day. Like, you go to my 90s playlist, it's full of nothing but a mix of women groups, male groups, and single artists, whether they be male or female. Like, there are male R&B artists who can, really sing and can really capture an audience. It's just radio doesn't play it. Radio would rather play I don't want to call it sing-song rap, but yeah, that's pretty much what we've devolved into, is that the rappers nowadays, at least in the radio, have captured that market. So that's just my opinion, though, because I don't want to say anything that I say is above facts, but just from what I've understood of the music industry, I see that the rappers are pretty much dominating that field, and so there's really not much of a need for male R&B artists, at least not on the public radio. But as Sappy said, there are plenty of R&B artists that are like out there right now that are really good that just aren't mainstream in at least the Billboard's eyes. I'm gonna say it like that, because anything outside the top 50 Billboard songs is probably not gonna get any radio play unless you have like a real local station that's not underneath a corporation, that they're their own independent radio station, like Hot 91 under Norfolk State. So anyway, that is my that's our opinions on, or our predictions, at least for the music industry. My predictions.
I got one quick thing to say. Speaking of musicians, Rolling Stones put out a list of the 400 best singers, and Celine Dion wasn't on the list. That's all I gotta say. Rate that.
That's interesting.
Michael Jackson was 86. Rihanna was 68. Make that make sense.
Rihanna was ranked higher than who?
Michael Joseph Jackson. You heard me. You heard what I said.
Jesus, keep me near the cross.
Baby,
Lord.
this list is. I mean, now number one is Aretha. I mean, However,
Yeah,
this
but
list is a little
even
skewed
still,
in
to
my
have
opinion.
one, to have Michael that low is a crime, and then two, to have him below Rihanna is even worse.
Mhm.
To have Rihanna on the list, no disrespect.
Yeah.
However, to have Rihanna on the list, that's different.
I ain't want to say it, but
That's different.
good Lord. Oh
And
man.
it was a 400 what?
It was the top 200 greatest
Oh.
singers of all time, not even of 2022, of
Just
all time.
time.
All time.
Okay, I need to see this list. Where did you find this list?
It's on Rolling Stones, baby girl. Let me send you the link, cause
They'll do anything for clout. They just trying to.
Yes.
Lord
Ooh,
have
that
mercy.
reminds me. That reminds me. I need to go on a little mini rant. So the New York Times had done an article on Kendrick Lamar, and they said that Kendrick Lamar was the best rapper of his generation, quote unquote. Now, I got to make some comments about this because there were some people who were confused on this generation comment. A lot of people thinking like, wait, he's the best rapper out of millennials. No, and they were starting to throw like different artists out there. One particular person on Facebook, I'm not gonna say any names, but they said that greatest rapper of his generation. No, it's got to be Wheezy F Baby for me. And what I
do
said
people not
was,
know what generation means?
there it is. There it is. I was like, okay, for one, do you not understand like generations? And then, granted, yes, Lil Wayne and Kendrick are both millennials.
Is he?
Yes, Lil Wayne was born in 82 and Kendrick was born in 87. That's still part of the millennial era. So,
Really?
yeah, they're only 5 years apart. However, in terms of rap does not go by actual year you were born. Rap, there's certain different generations of rap that we have to break down. For example, LL Cool J and DMX, 2 years apart. Rest in peace of DMX. Literally 2 years apart. LL Cool J born in 68, DMX born in 1970. But that's two different eras of rap. LL Cool J got famous in the mid 80s.
80s, yeah.
DMX got famous at the end of the 90s. Do you
Early
compare
2000s.
DMX's rap to LL Cool J's style of rap? Of course not. Even though they both from New York, no. That's two different eras of rap because one came in during the beginning of rap or the early days of rap, whereas one was blossoming in the golden era of rap or was considered the golden era in the 90s. It's not the same thing. Lil Wayne, he got signed to Cash Money in 1995 or 6. He dropped his first album in 1999, his first solo album in 1999, and had an album with the Hot Boys before that. Kendrick got signed to Top Dog in 2004 and didn't drop his first album until 2011. Are you going to compare The Block is Hot to Section 80? No, that's two different eras of rap. So I literally had to break it down to that person. It's like, we're not talking about Kendrick being the best out of all the millennials. He's up there, but we're not saying that he's the best out of millennials. We're saying that he's the greatest rapper in his generation of rap, which in this case would be those who came in 2010 and during that time period between 2010 and 2012. Now, if you had said, you think that J. Cole is the better rapper out of the two, that is your opinion. I love Cole. I think Kendrick is the better rapper, but I love Cole and you would have had an argument there. But to make an argument about Wheezy versus Kendrick, that's two different generations of rap. I'm sorry. Like y'all got to use y'all context clues and really got to think about what that means when we say their generation. They're not talking about the years that we were born in this case. They're talking about specific eras of rap and hip hop. So I had to throw that out there because that really annoyed the hell out of me when I saw that shit on Facebook. It's like, come on, y'all. Like, really? Let's think about this. Let's really think about this. And I had another example. Okay, let's use, because we say that there's different eras in music all the time. Are you going to compare a DeBarge album to, let's say, Donnell Jones?
Hell no, that don't even make sense.
No.
My point exactly. My point
Mm-mm.
exactly. So yeah, I just had to throw that out there. It's like ain't no way that y'all are doing this because that makes absolutely no sense. One literally came out in the early 2000s, and the other rapper like got famous in 2011, 2012. So it's two different eras of rap in my opinion. But anyway, I just had to throw that little mini rant out there. Johnny he said that he was supposed to be coming in, but I still no sign of him. So we
That
literally
man
getting close
sleep.
to the end.
Yeah, he probably went
He
back to
must have
sleep.
been lit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, because I tried to extend it for as long as I could, but it's like, damn, we really getting to the end here, and he's still not here. Because I would ask him all of the other questions that I asked y'all today, but well, whatever. If he don't make it, he don't make it. You know.
Okay, based off of Rolling Stones, they said that it's based off of influence, not vocals. I still think Celine Dion at least influenced the girlies. Like, come on. Christina Aguilera is 147 on the list, and Taylor Swift is 108. Make that make sense. Brandy is 193 out of 200.
Is this for like 2022 or all time? Like all time?
It is the 200 greatest singers of all time.
They put Billie Eilish,
put
sorry,
200
Burna Boy.
And they put Brandy at 190. What?
193.
Throw the whole fucking list away. I'm sorry.
No, throw Rolling Stones away.
Throw that shit in the garbage.
Fela Kuti, 188. Make it make sense.
Ain't no fucking way, boy.
Who? Chile. Alicia Keys, 185.
Oh,
Jasmine Sullivan.
Oh, they better not do her.
Oh,
what? Jasmine Sullivan's what?
182. SZA.
Go ahead and stop the presses.
Now we're gonna do
the cap.
The top
the
one.
cap.
Let's go to the top.
Stop the presses because Jasmine should be up there. We're not
now,
gonna do her like
now,
that.
let's say if they're saying influential, it's based off of influence. It's not greatest vocals. Okay.
Even if it's based on influence,
so,
Brandy is still way too low, but that's just me.
Jasmine is way too low. The influence on that, the anointing on that woman's voice,
like she influences every R&B artist as of right now. But we're gonna go to the top 10 to see who is influencing everybody. Okay, number one is
gotta hear this.
Obviously.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 is Auntie Whitney. Okay. That makes sense. Number 3 is Sam Cooke. You bet your damn life. Number 4 is Billie Holiday. All right, they're on track. Number 5 is Mariah Carey. Number 6 is Ray Charles. Number 7 is Stevie Wonder. Number 8 is Beyonce. Number 9 is Otis Redding. I think he could have been a little bit lower on the list, but that's my cup of tea. And number 10 is Al Green. Him as well, but we're gonna go from there.
The top 10 isn't a bad top 10.
It's not a bad top 10. However, are they the Al Green and Otis Redding the most influential of all time?
No, because Michael definitely should have been in that top 10.
I was gonna say Michael should have been in that top 10. He
and
definitely
Little
should have been in
Richard
that
is
top
close
10.
at number 11. I think they should have bumped him up in front of the other two, but
Marvin Gaye is marked at 20. I feel like he could be marked higher.
Where they put Ray? Did Ray Charles make the list?
Yeah, he's top 10,
Ray Charles is number 9, I think. I lied. Ray Charles is number 6.
Yeah, okay. I knew he was top 10. It's just that's
I think
still
him
crazy.
and Little Richard should have been back to back, but
come on.
And Elvis Presley should have not been on the list, but that's he's number 17.
Yeah, he could have been down.
I got a whole other rant about Elvis Presley that I'm gonna store for another time.
Yeah, Elvis, he could have been down a little bit more, but that's okay.
A whole lot more. That boy, all he did was steal music.
Mary J. Blige is number 25. Honey, where?
Look,
I'm quiet.
Mary had influence, okay? Don't do
she
her.
Did. You're right. She was the lady of the 90s.
I'm still, if this is about influence, I'm still stuck at Michael Jackson being in the 80s. I'm like, bro, you're talking about the greatest pop star of all time, arguably.
Still, currently.
This man, not too many people ever go diamond. And this man was able to do it like 5 or 6 times with 2 different albums.
Luther Vandross is number 31.
I just saw that.
Lord, we could have a whole episode. So just going through this list.
I don't get it. I don't understand. But that's
okay. Curtis Mayfield is number 38. Okay. I respect that.
All right. A lot of these aren't 42. Bad. It's just when you get past the top 10, then it's just like, okay, come on.
It's just the order. I think they just threw names together.
That's what it sounds like. Because ain't no way Michael is that low. If we talking about influence, man.
First of all, Michael is after Toni Braxton, after Joni Mitchell.
Now, all respect to Toni Braxton. She still has one of the best debut albums of all time. But come on now.
Yeah, they just put a collaboration together and needed something to post for the week.
Exactly.
That was their end of the year post.
Like they didn't think this one through at all.
Not at all.
Because like who was the curator of the list? Who cleared this as these like I want to know who were the sayers to this. Who cleared this list to be released to the public?
You know they ain't put names. It says by Rolling Stone. They ain't gonna put no names because they would have got a strongly worded email.
Who's on the committee? I need answers.
Yeah, we need to find out who wrote this damn article and who put this list together. Like, yeah, and that's absolute garbage. This is trash, absolute trash. I don't even want to talk about it no more. This is like, yo, because the more I hear these names, the more upset I'm gonna get. Because this can't be real. This cannot be real. All right.
Just to read what they said, it says before you start scrolling and commenting, keep in mind this is the greatest singers list, not the greatest voices list. Talent is impressive. Genius is transcendent. Sure, many of the people here were born with massive pipes, perfect pitch, and boundless range. Others have rougher, stranger, or more delicate instruments. In all cases, what mattered most to us was originality, influence, the depth of the artist's catalog, and the breadth of musical legacy. So you tell me Michael Jackson is still 8? I'm sorry.
The depth of art catalog. Okay, let's go back all the way to the Jackson 5 and go all the way up until his death. Like, let's really dig deep into his catalog if we're gonna do all of that.
Okay, but we have to have a Michael Jackson music roundtable. I'm done.
Look, we've talked about that we definitely will. We actually had put it up to a vote, and I had him in the vote a couple times, but I think that since Sappy said that that's one that she wants to do, that we will do that, because I remember last year I said we were doing a TDE one and I didn't put that up to a vote. That was my special request. So Sappy's special request this year will be for us to do a Michael Jackson music roundtable, and we will be ranking his discography. Do you want to include the Jackson 5 albums as well?
Honey, we'll be here all day. Would be, because you got the Jackson 5, you got the Jacksons. So that's like 30 albums already.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about a 3-day episode.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, for real.
It's like, we got to do the Jackson 5, we got to do the Jacksons, and then we got to do Michael's single catalog by himself.
We about to do all the seasons. We got a fall episode, a winter episode, a summer and spring.
Hey, okay. Look, we did it for Weezy, so I mean, it can be done for Michael.
Yeah, we could do the Jacksons through the decades. How about that?
Ooh, that's not a bad
we'll definitely figure it out. Speaking of music roundtable, obviously, we haven't done one in a while, ladies and gentlemen. So our next one is going to be coming up soon. This time we are going to cover Erykah Badu. Now, it only has 7 albums. She only has 7 albums, but it's going to be interesting because we're going to have 7 people, hopefully, on this pod, and we're going to rank them from the greatest to the least greatest. So definitely stay tuned for that. Also, we will have another music roundtable, but what we're going to do is kind of like a tournament. And what we'll have to do is we're going to put the male R&B groups from the 90s and the 2000s, and we're going to have like we're going to have some brackets. We're going to do a tournament, and we're going to find out who the best male R&B group is. Now, of course, we all have our opinions, but we got to do it, man. We got to have some fun with this. So stay tuned. That will be coming later in the year. And we might actually do that one live on Twitter Spaces. So that'll probably be our first Twitter Spaces episode. We'll get there when we get there, but stay tuned for that. We got some more coming. We also still have to do our own little versus battle. So what we'll also do on the page is we'll kind of put things up to a vote as what artist discography do we want to go head for head, pound for pound. Are we doing Nas versus Jay-Z, or are we doing Tupac versus Biggie? We can't do Tupac versus Biggie. Biggie only had 2 albums. But what we'll do is we'll pick 2 artists, or we'll pick a slew of artists, and you will decide who gets to go up against who. And we'll make sure that the artists have an extensive catalog, so that way you guys will be able to vote on which artists we choose to do a versus for. So with that, I think we got the announcements out the way. Any other comments before we get to the rundown?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm definitely here for the Nas versus Jay-Z, since we'll probably never get their verses in real life.
You have a good comment, man. They both have an extensive catalog. That would definitely be a good versus to have, and we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that turns out, because that's definitely going to be very, very interesting. Speaking of which, we're also going to take an opportunity to, on one of our music roundtable episodes, and it might be the Erykah Badu one, to update a couple of the tier makers, because obviously Neo dropped a new album, Nas dropped 2, and Kendrick had dropped 1 in the last time that we did their music roundtable. So we will have to do like a quick update and find out where each of those albums belong. So whether it's the Erykah Badu episode or a future episode, we'll get to that. But yeah,
did y'all
guys,
know that Kendrick was named the greatest rapper of all time?
I literally had a whole rant about this now. So I said he was the greatest rapper of his generation. You did you miss it?
Don't do me. Don't do me. But yes, I heard it. Yes, I heard it.
Yes. I talked about it, and I had to tell people, like, there's a difference between being the greatest rapper like in their own generation and being the greatest rapper like between all of our generations and whatnot. Like, we can't break generations up by the years that we were born in terms of music. We have to go by certain time periods and eras. We're not going to sit here and compare 80s R&B to 90s R&B, because there's a significant difference between the two. There's a significant difference between the style of rap that Lil Wayne came in and progressed than it was when Kendrick came in. So I had to make that distinction. So are there any other comments before we get into any new Black business highlights?
I got a quick question for all of y'all.
What's up?
Who do you think was the greatest breakout artist of 2022?
It's a good question. Let's see.
Any genre.
In any genre.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that's it's definitely
honestly for rap. I've been listening to heavy as of lately. Well, I feel like the biggest breakout star was probably Glorilla.
Yes.
Glorilla.
I was thinking either Glorilla or Lotto, as far as breakout, but go ahead, continue.
Lotto.
Well, didn't Lotto come out with a mixtape in 21 though?
Yeah, she came out with a mixtape.
Oh, well, I guess
21.
her album came out this year.
Yeah.
As of recently, Lola Brooke. Yeah. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. I love that song. Okay. I feel like that has been she's definitely doing numbers for real. She's at this point, she's giving me a mixture of like Foxy Brown and Little Kim vibes. Yeah, she going far.
Okay.
I'll have to
Um,
give it a listen.
yeah,
I haven't
I
heard it.
definitely. Oddly enough, Lola Brooke is actually on one of my playlists here on Spotify. I just haven't like actually gotten the chance to listen to her for real. So I would definitely do that. Uh, as far as breakout, yeah, I think as far as rap, it's for me. I think it will have to go to Glow. Like that's it's really kind of hard to say anybody else as much as I would, trying to think about it. I think Glow is really the common denominator here. Now in terms of R&B, I'm a little behind on that one because I haven't caught any like newer R&B artists. Did you have one in mind, Sappy?
I think Bunny Long did pretty good.
That's fair.
Money
That's
Long,
very
yeah,
fair.
she did do very well. She definitely did.
Yeah. Very fair. Very fair assumption. Okay.
Quick moment of ignorance. I thought her name was Muni. I didn't
You
know.
ain't the
I,
only one. You are not the only
You're not
one.
the only one, bro. You're not the only one. At one point or another, we all thought it was pronounced Muni, but it's pronounced money. Which, okay, well, oh come on, Steelers. Anyway, I think we've covered a good bit this episode, more than I thought we would. So, are there any new business highlights that anybody wants to touch on before we get to this rundown?
Not I.
Not as of yet. Let's see what 23 brings.
New Black businesses. Love to see it.
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, well then let's go ahead and just do the rundown then. So, for those who don't know, every year or every episode, good Lord, I'm tired. Every episode we do a rundown of podcasts and businesses and artists and content creators that have thoroughly at least supported this podcast in one way or another, whether it's vocal support, whether it's by sharing, or whether it is by coming on to this podcast itself and presenting themselves, or us doing a highlight on them. So with that, we usually start with our podcast. At that, NASA will go into Black content creators, and I got one to add for you, NASA, whenever you get finished. Then, of course, Sappy will do our Black artists, and Law will do our Black businesses. Now, Johnny is supposed to do the podcast rundown, but since he is not here, obviously I have to do it. So, with that, got a shout out to the gang, Shogo High. You already know that is the anime podcast that we hold on Twitter Spaces every other Friday. Be sure that you check us out. We will be back actually this Friday, the 6th. So definitely check us out on Twitter Spaces at either 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time or 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, depending. Definitely shout out Inside the Mind of a Blurred. I'm also a part of that team, so shout out to them over there. Scuba Steve, Misha, Bo, Johnny as well, all of them. Shout out to Mike Check Waifu, Worst Generation Podcast, and Blaname Podcast. Please be sure that you go and subscribe to their Patreons as well. I am a Patreon subscriber to them as well. Those are great anime podcasts that you should definitely check out. Also, Worst Gen and Blaname are also the leaders of Anime After Dark. Definitely be sure that you check out Anime After Dark on Twitter Spaces every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to the Truth and Transparency Podcast with Brother X, the Culture Scientist, and Mr. Smith, The Session with Jay and Trey, Brutal Honesty with K. Renee, and also be sure that you check out her novellas under the pen name Sedona Rose, which are all available on Amazon Kindle. It's So Real with Raquel and Onaji, Dad Needs to Talk with Rob, the father of Vash. Definitely shout out to Rob, man. Rob has been getting me hip to a lot of podcast things and how to move forward. So definitely shout out to Rob. Analytical, where shit gets critical. Shout out to them boys over there. Huey TC podcast. Shout out to my boy Huey. Geek Set podcast. And definitely shout out to Anime Junkies, 3 Weaves in a Podcast. One of my our fellow band members is actually a part of that podcast, so shout out to them. And then, of course, there are a list of other anime podcasts that y'all can check out, so definitely be sure that you check out blackanimepodcast.com or the Black Anime Podcast Network, the largest database of Black anime podcasts for your consumption. All right, with that, NASA, could you please run down our Black content creators?
Yes, yes. And so for Black content creators, y'all already know we're gonna first start off with the Black anime with Aaron. Then we have HBCU Anime with Evan. Then we have Sundari with Erica. I'm not going to do the nickname, so I'm not going to do the nickname because we're not going to do that. But it's with Erica, so definitely check her out with that one. Then we have Cyberus Entertainment. Then we got Tatted Poodle. Then we got the Geechee Gamer. I was hit with doing the Gucci Gamer, but you know what? It is the Geechee Gamer. So definitely go and check them out. Okay. Icarus Metro Comics with Calvin. Then we have Studio Maho with Pat and Yin. We got Soul, aka Humble Southern Soul Brother. And last but not least, we have Hub Taku. So definitely go check all of these content creators out. They got some really amazing stuff going on. So yeah.
Thank you for that, Nasa. With that, I also want to add to the list, and I'll be sure to send this updated list here to you. We just had an episode featuring Shelby, aka Simply Janine. Please be sure that you check out her pages at Simply Janine or Simply.Janine and Roads Less Traveled. She is a travel creator, and she's actually getting ready to start streaming. So definitely shout out to her. And then we'll update the list as we go along because she's a part of some other things as well. But definitely shout out to Shelby. Black artists, please go ahead and give us our rundown of Black artists. Sappy.
Yo. So first of all, we got our very own NASA. Make sure y'all stream Players Club. It's on all streaming platforms.
Yep.
We got our boy Scoozy, Jack Union, Phil.me. We also got Ellis Quinn, RJ Stackhouse, Quarter, Tyreek Leak Jr., the whole government name. Make sure you stream all his music. We also got my little sis, Ari Lachelle. And we got Zach Hine with Fortresses. We also got Elena. Make sure you guys stream her new EP. And we also got our girl Zainab, who has a new song out. It's not new, fairly new. Make sure you guys stream that as well.
All right. And then finally, our Black business shout outs. Law, if you could give us that rundown.
All right. We got Already Paid by Dre, Fresh Nerds Rich Mom by Timo, KSS Brand by Christina, Cream Cosmetics by Naima, Mind Over Money by Tremaine, Studio Maho by Pat and Yin, Daphne Benford Smith, with Studio Maho and Creedon PLLC, Concept Moon by Strange Keith, She Designs 2 by Aaron, Black Magic Lit Wands by Low and T, H4 Creative by Zenobia, Real Estate 1 by Meredith, Sold by Belle by Mariah. And then, like I said, we're looking for some more Black businesses. So if you have something or you're up and coming with your business, let us know at Chaotic Culture Pod on all platforms.
Indeed. So with that, if there be no other announcements, be sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the Chaotic Culture Podcast on your favorite digital streaming platform. Once again, be sure that you subscribe to the Patreon for early access to the podcast and bonus episodes of the podcast. You can subscribe at any of the 4 levels listed. Once again, we appreciate your support. You can follow our Chaotic Culture Podcast page on Facebook at Chaotic Culture Podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram at Chaotic Culture Pod and follow us on Twitter at Chaotic_Culture. You can follow me, Ked the Pro, that's K3D the Pro on all social media. You can follow Ms. Nasa at _Call Me Nasa on all social media. Lost taking a social media break. Please be sure that you also follow Sappy on all social media at Scraps14. And then you can follow Johnny on all social media at JLeeTrey, including TikTok. And this has been another edition of the Chaotic Culture Podcast. So until next time, folks, remember, embrace the culture. Chaos rules. Be blessed. Be safe. Have a wonderful new year. And God is love. Deuces.
Peace.
Look, it's chaos in these streets, so let's talk about it, please. Let's hold some conversation. You see where I'm coming from. Yes, it's so amazing. Go ahead, get comfortable. You can grab a seat, take a load off your feet. Yeah, welcome to the table. We don't tell no lies over here. This ain't no fable. We just live our lives over here. We ain't no angels. We just shine our light over here. We got the power. We just showing love over here. Cause everybody needs